Today on Street Rodding American Style, we packed up the crew and sped our way to Anthony, Kansas, population 2,269. On today's show, we're going to take a look at a 1966 Chevy 2 Nova, a his 1962 Pontiac Catalina, and a hers 1960 Pontiac Catalina. But we can't stop there, because we also found a 1957 Chevy and a clean 33 Ford. These are all coming up next on Street Rodding American Style.
Support for Street Rodding American Style is provided in part by BG Products Incorporated. BG Products Incorporated is dedicated to making vehicles last longer and perform better in the meantime. In shops all over the world, BG Products serves the driving public with innovative products and proven programs of automotive maintenance. More information can be found at bgfindashop.com.
They make you look, dream, and sometimes even wish. These are street rods, built or just owned by those who have the same passion. My name is David Wolf, and along with Simon McCormick and Patricia Brown, we travel to admire these passions. These are works of art and are designed with the personality and the ingenuity of the owner in mind. Built in garages, barns, and even under shade trees in communities all across this great land of ours. This is more than just a hobby. This is an addiction. This is Street Rodding American Style. Si, there's a small town in Kansas called Anthony, and today they're having their 14th annual Show and Shine car show.
Really? Well, what are we sitting around for, man? Let's go.
Who am I to argue? We're gone.
Bill, what are we looking at here?
It's a 1966 Chevy 2 Nova, two-door sedan post.
In 1966, the average cost for a new car was $2,600. The Houston Astrodome was built, and one of the top hits heard on the radio was I'm a Believer by the Monkees.
I love the paint job. Now, was it already painted like this when you got it, or did you have to touch it up?
It was this color, and I had a guy that I was looking for a painter in the area. I didn't know anybody. He was an older gentleman, old school painter, you know. I made the mistake of paying him the money up front so he would hurry it through.
Okay, wait. You just said you made the mistake of paying him up front.
Yes.
It sounds like a longer story here. What's happening here?
He ended up taking 2.5 years, and I finally got so fed up, I could see he wasn't gonna finish it, so I'm gonna come and pick it up, and I don't care what condition it is, I'm gonna grab it. 2 weeks later, he passed away.
So did you get your $2,500 back?
No, of course not. I felt, she was in a very poor position. She was, now she was a widow. She had no other family, and I just didn't have the heart to ask her for it back, So I knew what she was going through.
So how'd you get the car back then?
So I had to go with the trailer and just pick it. It was basically a basket case. There was
it was all apart,
it was
wasn't
all in pieces, no paint on it, no fenders. It wouldn't run. We just had to just roll it onto a trailer and pack it up and then haul it over to Shreveport to find someone else who would be willing to finish a basket case.
Okay, so how much did that cost you?
Well, that ended up costing me $10,000.
So you're now in it for over $12,000,
yes, sir.
which originally was going to be just a nice little $2,500 paint job.
That's right. That's right. So that's why I refer to my nightmare restoration.
Yeah, but you know what? It is looking so good right now. What have you done that's even modified beyond the stock original condition?
Well, I have put a Ford 9-inch rear end. I tore like 3 10-bolt rear ends out of it, so I got really tired of it, and I put a Ford 9-inch in the back.
And the 9-inch is so stout. I mean, they can handle anything.
It's got these competition engineering slide-a-link traction bars on them that just plant that rear end. It's unbelievable.
Explain that.
Well, the car always wheel hopped really bad.
Because of the torque coming through.
They were notorious for that, and so the leaf spring rear end and that rear end just couldn't take all that torque from all that bouncing around. So, but once I put those traction bars in there, boy, it makes it like a 4-link. And it just plants that rear end right now. It's super smooth.
How about the hood? Is that different? Is that stock?
The hood is a cowl hood. They didn't come with it, but Goodmark started making these to copy basically the '69 Camaros, and all the Camaros that came out, and so this is just called a cowl hood.
And just very subtle pinstriping on this too. I think it's really, you don't notice it until you get close to it.
That's
it's subtle, but it's very cool.
Right. I didn't want anything really dramatic. So this is real subtle. I like it.
Engine-wise, what's in there?
It's a 355. It's got aluminum heads, solid lifters and cam, long tube headers, Demon carburetor. So it's really built for good high RPM. I like a good small block because of the high winding RPMs you can get out of them.
How long have you been into street riding?
Oh, ever since I was, you know, I could drive. You know, my first car was a '69 Camaro.
Yep.
And I've always had, just always wanted fast cars. This has got very primitive steering. It's kind of scary.
Is it really?
At top speed. Yeah, it's got a center link steering on it, and you don't know where you're going to go.
So top speed, not anything over like 105 miles an hour would it be?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, really?
you get up around 80, 100 miles an hour, and the front end will start lifting, and
wow.
You just don't know where it's going to go.
Well, Bill, sweet looking car, sweet Chevy too. Can you do me a favor? Can we hear this bad boy?
Well, absolutely. You always want to hear them run, don't you?
Doggone right.
Okay.
Who says street rods are just a guy thing? Rick and Denise would strongly disagree. Together they built this 33 Ford, and it's next on Street Rodding American Style.
David, guess what? I found my favorite car of the day, and it's right here. I've got their owners. This thing's awesome. We're gonna learn more about it. I got Denise and Rex, and this is Pookie, and this is their street rod. Denise, who owns this thing, you or Rex?
Both.
Both of you. Rex, would you agree?
Yep, she built 50% of the car.
You built 50% of the car.
Helped a lot, yeah. I helped probably 50%.
Rex, do you give her any direction? Do you make a parts list? How's this work out in the house?
We have a big board in the garage, and she just takes jobs off the board. If she doesn't understand what's there, then she'll ask a little bit, or she'll go read, and then she'll come back out and do it. As a matter of fact, she'll show up on Saturday mornings before I get up and work on the car just because she likes doing it.
After this show, you and me are gonna go to my house. I'm gonna introduce you to my wife, and you're gonna spend some time with her and get some of this love for these hot rods to rub off on her. What do you say?
I'll do it. I'll do it. We've been through so many different things, and people say, and you're still married? Yep, more than 35 years.
It's the glue that holds us together, huh?
Yep.
I want to know, what are we looking at here?
It's a 1933 Ford.
In 1933, the first drive-in movie theater was in New Jersey. The chocolate chip cookie was created, and the Loch Ness Monster was spotted for the first time.
It's a fiberglass body. It's a 350 Chevy, 350 transmission, 9-inch Ford rear end.
Who's the primary driver of this thing?
I'd say he is, primarily.
We went and looked for a couple of years at street rods, what we liked. We agreed. I kind of pushed for a 33. It's bigger than a 32. She designed the interior. A lot of the look we picked, the wheels, tires, and all that stuff. We knew what the car looked like before we ever built it.
So this is one of those projects where you go out, you pick what you want, you find your parts list, you get your parts, you slap them on the car, right?
That sounds pretty simple, but
there's a lot more to it than that, isn't there?
The stance, the colors, you know, everything takes a lot of thought.
What was the hardest part of this car? What was was it the design? Was it putting something together? What's the hardest thing you've come across so far?
I'll answer that. Making that first hole.
Big decision to make?
First hole, yeah.
Afraid you might mess up?
Oh yeah, he kept assuring, he let me do it. And he assured me, it's fiberglass, babe, we can fix it. I said, okay.
Wiring's difficult, not terribly, but you know, it's got air conditioning and heater and stereo, and
all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, it took a little time to get through that. It's fiberglass, so grounding was important.
I have this question for you. You say you did this for 2 years, you stayed together, it made you stronger. There had to have been some kind of arguments and disagreements at one point or another.
You choose your battles, and when you know, when you don't agree, just walk away. Think about it, come back, discuss it again, and compromise.
That's a good philosophy.
I have no patience. I'm always in a hurry, and she's the one that has the patience, and really the perfect detail of the car was her just slow down, let's finish it right.
What kind of horsepower?
290 horse.
290 horses.
We didn't want a motor that we couldn't drive comfortably, and from the start everything was safe. The mirrors are in a place where we can see out of them. You know, they look better up on the door, but they're not as safe. You can't see as well. So everything we did here was safe. So a 290 horse runs good. It's an automatic transmission. It's 4-caliper disc brakes up front. It's a safe car. That was first.
Absolutely, that's smart thinking. Did that cost a little bit more money? Does safety cost money?
No. you can get in cheaper than that to make safe look good. Might take a little bit more money. You know, you run down the highway 70 miles an hour. You don't want to be thinking about what you didn't do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. I got one final question for you guys. Can we hear this bad boy?
Sure.
We have a great crowd out here today in Anthony, Kansas. Young and old, male and female. But that's typical when it comes to car shows. For today, I'm gonna prove why street riding is fun for kids of all ages. Have you already picked out your favorite car?
Yeah.
Yeah, which one is yours?
That one.
The Camaro right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, both of you like the Camaro? Okay, so I talked to 2 young spectators and they chose your car as their favorite car of choice today at the car show. How does that make you feel?
Awesome.
Awesome. It is a beautiful car. And you know, I asked one of the kids what they liked the best and he said the engine.
Of course, men love engines.
Mm-hmm.
Shinier, the better.
Yeah, that's what he said. It was shiny. So, do you drive this every day?
My husband does.
Why is that? Why don't you drive it?
I can't drive a stick.
Oh no! But you need to learn so you can take it down too, right?
Oh, I need to, don't I?
Yes, you definitely do. Here's my charge to you. Next time you are driving the car to the car show. Are you up for that?
I'm up for that.
There you go.
Okay, Rob. It's a deal, Rob.
All right, May, there is a stereotype about people who come to car shows that they're just men. But I see you coming here. I see you enjoying this car show. Tell me what brings you here today.
My son owns this car and the next one, and he and my daughter-in-law are here showing the cars.
I heard that some kids picked this one as their favorite. Do you believe that?
I do.
Why do you like this car as well?
It's hot.
It's hot? What makes this car hot?
Well, it belonged to my husband, who's now deceased, and then my son rebuilt the whole thing and shows it.
Oh, that is so neat. Keeping it in the family.
Absolutely.
What do you think your husband would think of it now?
If he could see it, he would be thrilled to bits.
It's a beautiful car, May.
He'd be very proud of our son.
Now, I also heard that David Wolf might have sat on your lap today. Is that true?
He did.
He did. Was that by your intent or his?
It was his.
He chose you. He saw the hat and he's like, I'm in.
That's it. And it's the first time a young man has sat on my lap in years.
Paid her $100.
Made my day.
It did? I bet it made his too, May.
It's always more fun to enjoy a classic car with someone special. Danny has that special someone along with a special ride. It's a 62 Pontiac Catalina, and it's next on Street Riding American Style.
Danny, what do we have here?
You have a 62 Catalina.
In 1962, the cost of tuition at Harvard was $1,500. The first Walmart store opened, and in music, the Beatles' first single, Love Me Do, skyrockets the charts.
62 Catalina, now this is very clean. Where'd you find this at?
I found it in Tennessee.
Was it hard to find or
I
not?
just found it on the internet.
Was it in driver condition when you got it?
Yes, it was.
So what have you done to it since then?
Basically just cleaned it up and painted it.
You cleaned it up really well. I mean, it's like my mom said, you clean up well to go out in public. This looks great going public. Now I see a hood scoop on here. Now that was not stock for the Catalina, was it?
No, not this Catalina, it wasn't. Prior owner just stuck that scoop on there.
It's great. Actually, I like the way it sticks out. It makes it look, get that little more edgy look. Along with that, I think the wheels are also something that attracts people. Tell me what's so unique about these wheels.
Well, they're called 8-lug wheels, and they're a cast aluminum wheel. They're a very attractive wheel.
Very expensive?
They're fairly expensive, yes. $500 to $1,500 a piece.
Really?
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of times when I see 8 lugs, there's usually a different type of carburation, like a tri-power under the hood. Does this have tri-power?
It does.
So did you put it on there, or did it come like that?
It came that way.
But it wasn't stock on the Catalina though, right?
Well, not unless you ordered it that way.
Really?
Yeah.
So can you turn the tires over on this thing?
Oh, sure.
Have you done it?
Yeah.
But you don't want to brag about it?
No.
No, so we won't talk about that. Do you get a lot of people giving you a thumbs up going down the road?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so you kind of enjoy that appreciation, don't you?
Oh, yes.
I mean, you kind of build the cars for ourselves first, and everybody else second. And I think it's a great looking Catalina.
Thank you.
And I saw this Catalina. I've seen other Catalinas. Remember, there's another one behind us, and I'd like to find the owner of that. I don't know where we can find the owner of that, but I think it'd be great if we can find it. Do you know who owns this?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, do you? So, is he around here or not?
Yes, she is.
Oh, is it she?
Yes.
How do you know her?
For a long time.
For a long time?
Yes.
Are you dating?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay. I had to ask because I heard the rumors about the dating, so I just thought I'd bring it up because we're going to talk to her next. But before we do that, Daddy, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can we hear this bad boy?
Oh, sure.
Well, David, you'll never guess who I just found. I got Lana, Danny's girlfriend. This is her Catalina. It is awesome. Lana, tell me about this thing. What are we looking at here?
Well, it's a car that Danny bought me last September, as he thought I needed my own to take care of.
Because you guys have this one right behind us, and now you have your own.
Correct.
Which one do you like better? Even though it's yours, what's your take here?
I like mine the best.
Of course. What do you like about it?
I like the shape of it. I like the year of it.
What year is it?
It's a 1960, and it is a car like the one my grandpa bought when I was a senior in high school.
But we've got the Pontiac, we've got the other Catalina right here. Here's my question. Do you guys ever get them out individually and line them up?
Yes.
Who's winning?
So far I have.
That's it. So you just got it last September, you've been to one show.
Correct.
How'd you fare out there?
I won first place in my class.
Awesome. That's something to brag about. That's pretty cool. Do you get lots of thumbs up when you drive this thing around?
I do.
Yeah?
It's really kind of funny and amazing when you drive down the street and you'll see a thumbs up.
And you give it right back? So
you do.
That's cool. Let them rev up. Do it, spin the tires.
Yeah, I like to do that.
That's cool. That's cool. For me, I think it's neat when you have a nostalgic vehicle such as this, pretty much built to stock. If you can keep that old 60s look just the way it came, that's just cool. That's what makes it cool, I think.
Well, that's one thing that we've tried to do with all of the cars is get them back to as original a shape as we can with the original interior, the original look of it.
Lana, I really appreciate you letting us come in here. This thing's awesome. It really is. You've got a lot to be proud of. I got one more question for you. Can we hear this bad girl?
Sure.
All right, let's fire it up.
All right.
Do you guys have a car in the show today? You do? What do you have?
A 40 Ford sedan down here.
Oh, very nice. Do you have one in as well?
30.
A 30?
Black,
Back here?
30.
Black one? What about you?
That orange one there, that's 30.
And you?
I got the 64 Comet, my first car. Had it since I was 15.
Oh my gosh, since you were 15? That is amazing. And you guys are just hanging out here, enjoying the weather, talking about street rods.
We're all Harper Countyans.
Ah, very cool.
I grew up in this town.
Very nice. So you drove here, had some good time with friends, look at the cars. What's the farthest you've driven for a car show?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh my gosh. Did you drive the car or you trailer it?
Yeah, I drove it.
You drove it?
Mm-hmm. I suppose Arc City or Salina.
Arc City. So you stay a little closer.
Colorado is the farthest I went.
And did you drive it or trailer it?
Oh, drive it.
Hello, I know, right? You can't trailer it. That's Okay, what about you? Farthest?
Somewhere between Memphis and Columbus, Ohio. So.
Wow. How much money do you have wrapped up in your car?
I built it back in the early 70s, and at the time I probably didn't have 5,000 in it.
Wow, have you been putting some more money into it though recently?
No.
No? You're done?
Tires this week. My back tires were 40 years old.
Oh no!
I changed them yesterday.
Yeah, time for new ones, right?
Oh, I've got quite a few cars, and I've got tons of money in all.
You got money in all of them. You're broke. You got nothing left in that wallet, right?
Nothing. Not counting labor?
Not counting labor.
Oh, probably 12, 13,000.
Okay, if you add in the labor, what do you got?
50,000.
Times two.
$2 an hour.
Yeah.
Good day.
And your wives are all okay with you just hanging out here doing the man thing, car show. Oh, they're not here. They're not here today? They don't care.
They just assume we're gone.
That's the best part.
So this is a win-win for both of you guys, right?
We're thinking about getting them one too.
Oh, you are? Give me your definition of a street rod.
Pre-48. Just anything that looks different.
Oh, just anything 49 and below.
If it'll get here, that's good enough.
Phil has had this Chevy for over 40 years, and wait till you hear the price he paid for it. We have Phil and his awesome 57 Chevy here next on Street Rodding American Style.
We're here in Anthony, Kansas, and it's 59 degrees out, so it's a little bit chilly, but it just got a little bit hotter because of this sucker right here. I got Phil. This is his ride, and it's amazing. Phil, what are we looking at?
This is my 57 Chevy I've had for 41 years.
In 1957, the cost of a dozen eggs was 28 cents. American Bandstand made its debut on television, and at the bookstore, you find for the first time Cat in the Hat by Dr. Seuss.
No, it was a $50 car in 1971.
You bought this for $50?
$50.
That almost makes me angry. $50 for this thing right here. That's amazing.
Well, it had no engine or transmission, no wheels, no tires, and I rounded up a set of tires and wheels and found an engine for it and had a...
The engine that's in it now?
283.
It's got a 283. What kind of horses we see in there?
It's about 290 horse.
The paint on this thing is what drew me to it originally. The scallops especially. It starts off with a creamy color. It goes to the, what would you say, blue?
Yeah, it's a candy blue.
A candy blue. Mm-hmm. What made you go with this paint scheme anyways?
Well, it started with the Corvette steering wheel. I bought an old 57 Corvette, and it was kind of a junker. It had a terrible paint job, and it was all cut up. And when I sold it, I kept the steering wheel. And the Matador red steering wheel was what tempted me to paint the car Matador red.
You got the inspiration for this beauty from the steering wheel.
Right.
That's street rodding right there. That's awesome, man. There's one thing I noticed about this, and I almost turned my head and didn't even see it. Do you have a chop in this?
Yes, 2-inch chop.
So what made you go 2 inches?
Well, I got in the car sat in the seat, and went like this to the roof, and that's what needs to come out of the roof.
That's a perfect way to figure out what you need to take. It's so subtle, I hardly even notice.
A lot of work for just a 2-inch cut.
I mean, obviously it gets lots of looks. I imagine you get tons of thumbs ups.
Oh, yes.
Are there any little subtleties that people don't notice you wish they would notice?
Yeah, on the exhaust system I've got underneath, it's got the old scavenger pipes. Nobody runs them anymore.
Tell us what scavenger pipes are.
They're just a long exhaust pipe that goes underneath the axle instead of over.
Set up and over.
And they kind of hang down, and it's got a bell tip on them.
In 1971, you bought this car for $50.
Yes, sir.
What do you say you got wrapped up in it now?
Oh, probably about $20,000 of 1980 money.
There we go. I'm sure you got to have some interesting stories about this thing, as awesome as it is.
The upholsterer, Mike Stanifer in Hayesville, Kansas, when he saw the car, it just knocked his socks off. And I asked him, I said, what do you think I need to do for upholstery to date the car? And he said, it needs a tuck and roll job.
Definitely.
From front to back. And I said, that sounds good to me. He even did the trunk for me. And he said, if you'll notice, if you look through the back window of the car, all the way through the car, the pleats will line up from front to back and even into the trunk.
So he kept the lines going symmetrically all the way through.
He had the back seat out of the car 3 times to make sure the pleats all lined up in the car.
Isn't that good when you can take your car to somebody who's going to work on it that has so much heart into it as you do,
yeah.
and they're going to put just as much in? That's awesome. One more thing. Can we hear this bad boy?
Sure.
Let's fire it up, man.
Okay.
We are here in Anthony, Kansas today. Population roughly 2,000, and I am here with Troy Langton. He is the promoter of the 14th annual Show and Shine Car Show. Troy, tell me how you got started doing this.
Well, 15 years ago, they started the Balloon Fest here in Anthony. And for the first one, they didn't have a car show. But the community was interested in having more activities go on. And so the second year, they asked me to put together a car show. And so we put together a car show. The first one we had at the drive-in theater, which was still in operation at that time. And the following year, we decided to have it here at the courthouse. There's more shade. It was really hot that day. And so we've been doing it here at the courthouse for the last 13 years. This is our 14th annual.
Why would this be important to a community like Anthony?
Well, in Anthony, you know, it's always good to try to keep people in our community, and we always try to, you know, get more people or make more people aware of, you know, the small town feel.
So it's just that hometown feel, the love of cars. some balloons in the air, right?
Oh yeah, you bet.
Yeah. You know, I'm looking around, I see men, I see women, I see kids. Is this truly a family event for all to enjoy?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Troy, for talking to me. What a great day to have a car show. I'm excited to look at the rest of these cars, see your cool trophies, and just enjoy Anthony, Kansas.
All right, Si, we're back. Cool day today. Yeah. But hot cars.
Oh, awesome cars.
Man, starting with Bill's 66 Chevy 2 Nova. I think what stuck out in my mind was a nightmare restoration he went through just to get that thing painted.
But it was worth it. That thing was sweet.
It was sweet. And then we had Danny and Lana's Catalinas. Two great people, two great cars. Absolutely. You can't go wrong.
Did you meet Rick and Denise with their 33 Ford?
I did. I saw the dog too.
Oh, Pookie.
Yes, right.
That thing was awesome. The car. Yeah. The dog's awesome too. They did a really good job. Real slick car.
Right.
Denise did a lot of the work.
Did she really?
It was awesome. It was really cool. Met a guy named Phil.
Right.
He had a 57 Chevy.
Oh, I saw that one.
For years.
Yes.
Like 40 years he had this car.
Really?
And it looked like it was straight up out of Bonneville, man. The salt flats.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. You walk by and it just draws your attention and you want to know more about the car. And he told us a lot. It was a really cool car, neat story.
That was great. Matter of fact, I can tell you had fun.
Had a blast.
I had fun. And if you want to have more fun, join us again next week and see why street riding's not just a hobby,
it's an addiction.
Support for Street Riding American Style is provided in part by BG Products Incorporated. BG Products Incorporated is dedicated to making vehicles last longer and perform better in the meantime. In shops all over the world, BG Products serves the driving public with innovative products and proven programs of automotive maintenance. More information can be found at bgfindashop.com.